guys, I'm going to do this whole intro in gay voice. I hope that's okay with you.
No, you
Eddie
are Gabe.
Guerrero,
You are Gabe.
wow. I am. Hey guys, it's me, Gabe Sapolsky, and Eddie Guerrero, wow. Angry Gabe, Brian Excel, disrespect, code of honor, dangerous. We got low key voice. Wow, wasn't that great? Appreciating Eddie Guerrero. Wow.
Welcome to the game.
Midnight grinding, heart race climbing. You go, I go.
Thinking about this, I need to appreciate Eddie Guerrero. Man, Eva, what does that mean to you?
Well, I don't know. It's nice. It's nice that it happened.
It is quite nice, a night to appreciate Eddie Guerrero, this guy who, he's been for so many demons, and he's been on this killer indie run, but now he's back in the Fed. He's a damn Intercontinental Champion, and, we just gotta, we gotta, wasn't it so nice, Loki, to show our appreciation for Eddie Guerrero? But so yeah, it's it's a night for enjoyment. It's a night for reflection, whatnot. But this supposed great night starts off with goddamn HC Luke. What the fuck?
HC Luke. Yeah, the first thing we see is him welcoming DeVito to the building. That's his mate who's ringing on the debut episode, as they all fondly remember.
Yeah, it's callback.
Yeah, DeVito just shoves the ring crew guys around, and he goes, "Ha ha ha, stupid."
The DeVito is all like, "Oh man, see, look, it's so cool to see you, friend." And then he was just like, "Oh, fuck you," and it's fine enough. And
these are bullies now. Luke's just snapped. He didn't get brought back into CCW, and then Homicide beat him up.
They got
shanked.
CCW, so they got shanked. Well, HC Luke got shanked, but DeVito, he probably felt bad about it too. So they're a force to be reckoned with now. The Carnage Crew in Ring of Honor. Then we get to the first of many video packages. This show for
techno.
They're really ramping up the video packages. I think they've got the techno right, but they've got like a lot more context to it now, because now they've got text, literally text, and it's a con. That's context.
Text, no.
This video package.
Gabe is just popping so many eckies in this period. He's just fucking
yeah, he wasn't he?
out every night.
Yeah, it's really weird to like. What do you what? Okay, so you went back when you like first watched this stuff, and you would have seen these video packages. You would have seen Gabe Sapolsky's taste in music. Would you have like thought, "Oh, I didn't expect Gabe Sapolsky to like this"?
Yeah, I was very surprised by like how prominent like techno is and like these trance tracks and stuff. Like, and then it would just like switch to some.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Then it would just switch to some metal and stuff. Like, yeah, he's got.
Aye, like
somebody's got some interesting taste.
I did read something recently where it was like, saying, "Oh, look at this metal cover. It looks like it could be a trance album. That shows you how interlinked the communities are." And I believe that. It seems like a legit thing. So maybe Gabe is just really in all that thing. But in any case, this video package, it replays that great shot that nothing has been settled with.
Yes,
and
we love that.
You get to see like. This one like this effects that just like makes you like look all twisty and all that, just like travel across Christopher Daniels' face, and it's great.
It's so like Windows movie player or whatever it is.
yeah, it's great.
I'm expecting like for it to like sprinkle in with like a blue screen and with white text and stuff like. Like the old lyric bits.
Like all this Ring of Honor stuff happens, and then suddenly it just cuts to Microsoft Sam singing a wee song and going.
We have another segment, sort of similar to one that we saw on the last Ring of Honor show. Quite a storm. He wants to wrench somebody in a submission. This time he asks Brian Excel if he can apply a hold on him, and Brian Excel talking is hilarious.
It's hilarious. Like, you know what I thought of is immediately like how, you know, I would have asked you like something like, you know, or you would have said rather, just like, oh, this Brian Excel guy, is he cool? And you said, hey, he's not much of a talker. And then I thought like, oh, wonder what that means. No, I know what it means.
Yeah.
He's so fucking awkward.
Okay.
Oh,
I don't take
crazy.
submissions. I'm a high fly, bro. Keeps calling him a biatch.
A biatch.
And I've been
Yeah,
I've been like
it's-
saying that to myself a couple of times since I've watched this show, like just walking around the house like, you biatch, you know.
It's not just biatch, it's almost like it's like a crutch that he holds on to so as to make it look as if he can, like, you know, social interact, because he just keeps going biatch. And like, you know, what's really funny is Chris Devine in this segment, because Quiet Storm, he's like, you know, he's at it, you know, he's like taking the piss, he's wanting to hurt Brian Excel, right? But then Brian Excel rebukes him, and then Quiet Storm goes, alright man, and like walks off, you know, he's got a plan in his head, right? Meanwhile, Chris Devine, he is just like, you know, sad, because he's like, you know, hey, like, it's not just high flying, man. Wrestling's about everything. And then like Brian was just go like, no, I'm a high flyer, man. He's a biatch. And then like Chris will go, I'm sorry you feel that way, man. It's great.
Yeah, this is like, it's not like well acted or anything, but it's a funny segment. It's just like,
It's really funny, yeah.
this kid, he doesn't get it, man. He doesn't get it. He just wants to do all his flips.
I'm a high flyer, man. Why do you think has my stuff? What am I going to do for some reason? It's not a lot. So then, what's next?
Well, what's next is the Hit Squad are clearly busy with something, because out come Christopher Street Connection. They're here to hype up the crowd this time before they enter the building. And they say, "What's up, you sexy bitches?"
Yeah, the crowd initially, they're like lukewarm towards this because obviously the Christopher Street Connection are gay and that is bad. But then Christopher Street Connection, like, you know, goes like, hey, New York City, NYC, and the otherwise homophobic crowd, they really go for this shit. They're hyped up for New York City.
They're like,
then-
they're like, "Oh, I thought all gays were bad, but these two guys like NYC."
Maybe the gays aren't so bad after all.
This was the turning point. It's not. It's not the fucking turning point. There's still a long way to go.
Was this a turning point for gay rights?
Well, you know, gay people began in 1989, and moving on, they kiss each other again. This infuriates the Hit Squad.
Okay, you missed out the important line, because they said the Hit Squad, they might be the hardest heading team, but we're the hardest cursing team. And you know what, Eva? If I were the Christopher Street Connection, I would have went for a different thing, because I would have said, oh hey, the Hit Squad, they might be the hardest hitting team, but us, we're the hardest team. Ha ha ha. Boner.
I would say they are the hardest kissing team now.
Yeah, they're really kissers in ROH, aren't they? Everyone else, they just presumably do not kiss, they just handshake.
Yeah, man, that's gay.
But imagine like fucking. Do you think Loki shakes the hand of his wife?
It would be fantastic. But yeah, they kiss each other again. This infuriates the Hit Squad. They come rushing out to stop it and save professional wrestling once again.
Yeah, it's fucked up how like they are so like fucking hateful. They literally just like are incensed by this, isn't it? Like it really
Yeah.
just. And then the Hit Squad's promo, it's a bit confusing because they'll like, first of all they'll go like, oh, only the hit squad will hype you people up, and that's fine, Seems like the whole point of the segment. But then, like, they'll be like, Christmas Street Connection, just when you think you got all the asses, we change the questions.
Which questions did they change?
I don't even know what relevance this quote has to the segment.
Yeah, just beating up some gay dudes. We changed the questions. Okay, man, I'll have to take your word for that.
I'll have to take your word for it. And then there's this weird part where, like, I suppose this is where, the Christopher Street Connection really did their heel work, because they, called it NYC, suddenly people get territorial about, their, like, where they rep, where they're from, and so there's, like, just like a bunch of people yelling about, like, oh, Boston's better, oh, Boston sucks and all that, right? And the Hit Squad, they seem a bit like, as if like they're taken aback by this, as in like they just sort of look at each other like, oh no, what do we do? But then they, getting back into it, they're all like, hey, doesn't matter where you're from, as long as you're chatting, Hit Squad, and it's quite a thrilling verbal performance. I just imagine. Can you imagine walking to work and you just walk past this?
It would be very strange. Like, all these dudes in black t-shirts
It's just guys talking about how stiff they are. It'd be crazy. So then we move on back to our story here. This great story, which is...
Yeah, this is the main, like, story arc running through this show. Probably.
This is... Yeah, Chekhov's Brian XL, it's true. American Dragon is there, he's just tying his booties, and then the Quiet Storm comes up and he's like, hey Dragon bro, you remember me, you told me that's a mission? And it cuts to, and it just like pans over to Brian, who's like, oh. It's really funny. So he is saying how, like, oh, I got this friend of mine, American Dragon, I got this friend of mine, Brian XL, he wants to learn submission, right? You gotta go teach him it. And, it's like, absurd, because Brian isn't like, okay, I will go talk to him as to how to do it. Quite Storm just like, no, you gotta wrench him up from behind, and like, Brian's just like, oh, yeah, let's do it. Well, come on, let's do it. And, it's funny, like, Brian, he doesn't really have it in him to, like, really take comedy seriously, does he? Because, like, like, they'll be walking out, like, Quiet Storm will be like, yeah, you just gotta, like, bridge from behind, bro. It's like Brian will just, like, have this, like, big face, like, yeah, I guess I do. Like, he just, like, thinks he seems to think this is, like, some, like, bullshit.
Brian's always been a bit like that, where he's just, like, he's not really, like, afraid to corpse. He just kind of does it.
It's that, and also, like, he sort of, like, thinks that everything is funny. So, like, he just, like, thinks this is goofy bullshit, I think.
Yeah.
And it is goofy bullshit in a good way, I think. And then we cut back to Brian, Chris Devine, and, Brian XL and Chris Devine. They're just, like, Chris Devine is just, like, fucking, like, depressed at how his friend group has exploded here, I think.
Yeah, he looks sad, and, like, he's had this convo with Brian XL before many times, like, trying to smarten him up,
Man, Chris Devine.
Who could have guessed what a tragic figure Chris Devine would be?
So Chris Devine, he is just like, sad again, and then like Brian and Storm, they come round, and Chris Devine is like, oh, okay, bro, I'll see you later. And then, like, he's scared of the American Dragon, and Brian XL, he has no idea. He just, like, sees Chris Devine go off, and he's like, oh, you gonna be a biatch too? And then, like, he has no idea. American Dragon just comes behind him and just, like, starts stretching him, and then, like, Brian XL, he starts screaming. He is dying there. No one is helping him. It's quite a harrowing scene.
Yeah, well, he's a biatch. Biatch.
You are what you stutter.
Yeah, I liked that Quite a Storm asked him to apply it proper strong style. I'm pretty sure
Did he say that?
He definitely said apply it strong style.
A black dog's tail. Oh man, amazing. Then this next segment here is like very short, but it's quite confusing because like, okay, so that hit squad are there, and Boogaloo's there. He doesn't have his mask on, and he no longer has that like very commanding voice that he that you said on a personal note. Like he just has this normal voice, and like, you know, apparently Homicide is over in Japan, so Boogaloo, he is just not booked.
Damn, we didn't get to see a singles Boogaloo match.
I didn't get to see a singles Boogaloo match, but maybe we will in the future, because here is friend of luck. It's the damn DeVito. He comes in, he's all smiles. He's like, "Just you wait, Boogaloo. Just you wait."
He says, "Hey, Boogaloo." Like, yeah, that's an intimidating way to sort of introduce yourself.
This guy's a real comedian, huh?
Yeah. So that was pretty much the end of that, and then we get a Frank Talent segment again. He a
more intense Frank Talent than we've seen in the past.
Yeah, it's a strange sort of glimpse to see him, you know, giving these pep talks, if you will. He tells everyone to give Eddie a round of applause and scolds Spanky for wearing headphones.
Spanky, you are a crazy person, as we will establish later on. Spanky, please listen to Frank Talent. Frank Talent, he just goes fucking sicko mode, doesn't he?
He certainly does.
Like, he stipulated to the wrestlers on like Round Robin Challenge, "Hey guys, please don't swear. It's against the commission," or whatever, right? Then here, he gets so mad at Spanky, he's just like, "Are you listening to me? Get that shit off your ears!" And man, it's fucked up. It's fucked up.
It really is. They show clips now of the first Ring of Honor match ever. We loved that one, didn't we?
Yeah. Yes. Actually, no. I am saying yes as a joke.
Oh yeah, me too. They tell us that the Chris Street Connection are going to try and get their revenge on the Hit Squad tonight. Not particularly looking forward to that. Just like, I don't know, like the Christopher Street Connection is like a dated act, but like you could present it in a way that's fine, really. Just separate these two teams. It's not good.
It's not going to be good, no. So after we get this video package, we cut to the ring. Stephen DeAngelis is there. Eva, have you ever heard of Douglas Levinson?
No.
Douglas Levinson, he's this guy who like works in art or something of that nature. He's a very short New York guy, and one time he went viral on the internet because he was recorded shouting at a busker who was playing a trumpet, and he was saying like, "Oh, like the wildest." You know the guy, right?
I know the guy. The fucking the crazy guy looks like he looks like that fucking shit. What's that cartoon? It looks like the cartoon character. Is he called like Frank or some shit? I don't know, man.
Well, I'll tell you who he does look like. He looks like Stephen DeAngelis.
I reckon that's the pseudonym, man. It's got to be the same.
Maybe so. And speaking of, like, well, Stephen DeAngelis isn't a new face. I think this is just the first time that I've really took note of him. But a new face is fucking Donny B. What?
Yeah.
Eva, why?
I forgot all about this guy.
Donny B, why?
You're asking the wrong person here. I don't have the answers to why Donny B.
Do we at least know who he is?
Why Donny B? Why does he have to
be? Why Donny B? I'm imagining that Eric Oshul, after he left ROH and, you know, was very, like, sort of sour about everything, you know, he would turn on this tape and, like, he would saw the replacement and he would just say, "Why Donny B? Why Donny B?"
Yeah, like the Gargiulo and Carino team was not good by any stretch of the imagination, but I missed them. I missed them here. Like, Donny B,
Eric
he really
Gargiulo,
sucks.
Eric Gargiulo and Steve Carino was a bad team that did not utilize the strengths of Eric Gargiulo. But Donny B and Steve Carino is just Steve Carino and Steve Carino. It fucking sucks.
Yeah, it's very bad, especially during one particular match, which I'm pretty sure you know, the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think so.
But let's hop into the card. Our opener is the Christopher Street Connection versus the Hit Squad versus what I believe is a three-person team: Elax, Prince Nana, and Simply Luscious.
Well, okay. So what happens is that it's meant to be Hit Squad versus Christopher Street Connection. Christopher Street Connection get their revenge as such, right? But so Hit Squad come out and they intimidate Steven DeAngelis because they're pieces of shit, and then they have this shirt. It's the official Ring of Honor shirt. Do you know what the official Ring of Honor shirt is?
Does it say we don't imitate, we innovate?
No, that's a poster. The T-shirts, it's on the front.
Oh,
just like on.
It's a hand. Is this like two shaking hands on the back?
On the front.
On the front.
It says on where there would be a pocket, strong ROH style, and then on the back is some clip art of two hands shaking. At this point, I decided to just start rating some stream of consciousness stuff, like, fuck you, Gabe Sapolsky, you're a fucking fraud. In an industry of carnies, somehow your half-baked low-effort bullshit sticks out like a fucking abscess. You homophobic fuckface. I hate you and your legacy shit. You are shit. Fuck you, Gabe Sapolsky. So that's what I thought of this.
Yeah, pretty much.
So then, the Christopher Street Connection come out, and it seems as if we're just going to get a rematch, right? But then Alison Danger, she comes in, and she gets the mic.
Carino,
and she says,
Carino calls Simply Luscious a known alternative lifestylist. So I guess that confirms that she is gay. She is also gay.
You know something?
Oh wait, no.
When
that's oh god, that's Alison Danger.
Yeah, it's Alison Danger. If Carino is able to say, like, oh, they may be fags, but they're not stupid. Why does he then go to a fucking, fucking alternative lifestylist? Just say fag again, dude. It's okay. I already hate you.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's not like getting worse. Like, it's strange for him to choose then to start being careful with his words.
Yeah, it's some bullshit. So anyway, Alison Danger, this alternative lifestylist we all know and love, she gets the mic and she's saying that, this isn't gonna be Hit Squad versus Christopher Street Connection, but it's gonna be you two teams along with Prince Nana and Elax. And then those two guys, they come in and they start beating up the Hit Squad.
Yeah, this is definitely the first match with a woman competing in it that we've covered so far. And
yeah, that's true, isn't it? Because the thing is that Elax is presented as Prince Nana's partner, but soon enough, Prince Nana just throws him out the ring, and then Simply Luscious, he shakes hands with her, and they seem to be a team, but then Prince Nana bails on her too. So, this is just not something that follows the Code of Honor, by the way. You know that? I don't know if they actually...
They broke the Code of Honor?
He broke the Code of Honor.
What?
You have heat with the boys.
What? What the fuck?
Oh, I fucking hate this shit.
So yeah, Prince Nana, he of course starred in that great gay porno, so he's willing to fight for the Christopher Street Connection's cause at first. It's effectively a 5-on-2 to start off. Nana's like this stocky dude with a rugby-ish frame who looks quite explosive. I've not seen much of him in the ring. He's usually been a sort of mainstay in Ring of Honor, even Sinclair is and stuff.
Yes.
he's usually always been a manager. I've not seen much of him wrestling. They never really tap into him as a wrestler, I don't think. He seems as though he could do some stuff, but he's just always in, like, complete bullshit.
Yeah, it's funny because, like, the image I had in my mind of him as a manager, he seemed like so small, but here he's like fucking like huge. Like, he's literally the only guy who seems like he could probably take it to that hit squad, and it's a bit weird. I wonder what the point is where like he just sort of like goes to managing, how that comes about. In any case, this freeway is just a bunch of shit. It's just a bunch of uncoordinated bullshit that's homophobic in nature, thus overriding the possible merits of the hit squad and whatnot. So I hated it.
Yeah, I was not a fan either.
Mm-mm.
I guess the Christmas Street Connection's slowed down Bronco Buster is quite amusing in isolation. I mean, you don't have to agree with me.
So yeah, things break down for our villains here, our gays. They have like these fallings out, these abandonments and whatnot, and the hit squad are able to take advantage and do some power moves, and then they win, and then they beat up Elax afterwards. Why? Because they are poopy.
Yep. And that was that. Certainly a way to open your show. When we've already like seen the like worst possible opener on the debut, all this stuff kind of like feels like less shit in comparison, but it's still shit. We can't give this stuff a pass. It's still shit.
Eva.
It's not going to get that low again, but it's still shit. What?
Hangover Honor.
Yeah, so finish of this bullshit is when there's some big wild suplexes from that hit squad. Then they pop up. Simply lushes for a big choke slam thing. Then she gets a burning goddamn hammer and is pinned.
Wow. So, after this bullshit, the hit squads, they continue to be, like, I don't know. I can't, like, it's literally the worst possible situation for me to have only seen them in their homophobic praxis gimmick. It's just, I don't know. It feels as if, like, I mean, I remember you saying about, like, the first Christmas Street Connection match that, you can recognize that they are stiff and hard-hitting and whatnot, but, man, like, it doesn't really fucking matter. They're just, like, hateful people.
Yeah, no, I mean, they will do better things, but in this sort of early period, they're just in bullshit, and it's not enjoyable in any way. They're a good team. They're a good team. It should be easy to make these guys enjoyable. But they failed on every level at this point.
Gabe found a way. You always find a way, don't you, Gabe? So then, now it's time for us to visit Jay Briscoe again. What's the deal with Jay Briscoe? What's he been doing in Ring of Honor?
He's on a losing streak, mate. Jay starts cutting a promo, but a few seconds in, Mark cuts him off and he's like, 2 in a row, really poor record for you there. Like a dick. It's great.
2 in a row, Jay.
And Jay gets pissed off again. Jay tells him to shut up because he's not even wrestling. He walks away. and then Mark's face is like, he's the one who's disappointed. Like, oh, I tried to teach him by just being a knob. Just shakes his head, disappointed.
This Briscoe storyline is the best.
Yeah, it's like,
it's literally just like,
yeah, it's just Mark just being a little prick.
I just really love that Jay's like, Mark, you don't even wrestle. It's amazing. It's so, yeah, it's do or die.
It's a very
honestly.
believable brother dynamic, isn't it?
I suppose that's true. Yeah, So do or die time for Jay Briscoe. He has to face Tony Mama Luke. What do you think of Tony Mama Luke?
He's great. I think he had a sort of style change at some point around this time. Like he sort of went from being like a big bumper, and then I guess like those bumps took their toll, and he focused more on mat stuff. But yeah, every time I see him, he's generally a good wrestler, and I generally enjoy all of the matches he's in. However, maybe not this one so much, and it was nothing to do with him. It was not his fault. But we'll get into that. Just a bit of nice grappling at the start, and he's not even fucking done anything before Donnie B and Carino shit on him for still doing gimmick stuff.
Yeah. As in, this is the central thing, because, hey, look, I agree. Tony Mama Luke, he's one of the best wrestlers out there today. But look, man, this is Ring of Honor. We don't have no chicanery here. Why you coming in here with that get-up, huh? Why you coming in here with that theme music? Tony Mama Luke,
Yeah,
you can be a great wrestler.
All he did was come out to Staying Alive by the Bee Gees, and he was wearing FBI gear, and then he's having a serious match. They're still shitting on him. Does he have to buy new gear? Because James Maritato said so.
Because this isn't that sports entertainment crap. Ring of Honor is probably the worst promotion I've ever fucking watched. Nearly any ray of hope or glimmer of quality is just ruined by this utter bullshit. It's just like so beset by this bullshit, just like all the time, non-stop. Donnie B, he really is like a Steve Carino because he just never shuts up, and Steve Carino never shuts up, so you just get this throughout the whole fucking show. Just this over and over again. Why?
Yeah. And Gabe is just a master at this point of just making me not enjoy matches I would usually enjoy, and making me dislike James Maritato unintentionally. Like, how do you do that? He's like one of my low-key faves, you know?
Aye. He's a cool guy, and, you know, it's just really terrible what you're doing from here. And this match is probably the most egregious example on the show, because you know what Carino decides to do? He decides that he will say, hey, that's what sets us apart here in Ring of Honor. We are an athletic competition promotion. We are not about a sports entertainment. We want the best matches, the most athletic matches, and that's why we have the Code of Honor, which has 5 principles, and I will explain them all now.
Yes, and then they just start reading them out.
They start reading them out.
Why? Carino reiterates ROH is not that sports entertainment crap, and reads out the motherfucking Code of Honor. I just put like 50 A's in it, right?
Now, this would be fucking the worst shit. That made me legitimately angry that you started doing that. I
saw your video that you posted onto Twitter of you just like looking miserable watching this part.
I didn't sleep last night. That was 5 a.m. that I posted that. I was like sleep deprived, and I was just watching this and feeling like I wanted the world to just like crumple up into a paper ball. Steve Carino, I hate you, and I hate how you finish this Code of Honor reading off by saying if you don't follow that stuff, you'll have major heat with the boys, major heat with the locker room. Steve Carino, you have major heat with my asshole.
Yeah. When I saw your little video, I just identified with it so much, because this drove me up the wall as well.
Well, did you catch as well that they added some rules, Eva?
Did they now? Did they say Andy Q?
No, they did not. Well,
no mention of Quilden.
No mention of the 1/3 of the main event was the Horse Sizzler, where Andy Quildan did a flying armbar on David Starr, and then Will Ospreay made the count.
Yeah, and Wembley Arena lost their fucking minds.
No one noticed that here, unfortunately. Well, the first rule that gets said, aside from the principles, we've already been familiar with. It's that they say that the 10 counts when you're outside the ring is no longer a thing. Donny B says, I never liked that rule anyway, so okay, Donny B.
Didn't
But
ask
then,
for your opinion, Donny.
We didn't ask for your opinion, Donny. You're a journalist, a broadcast journalist. Fuck you.
You got
So-
to call it down the middle. Enough of these opinions.
And then the next rule, this new rule, this filled me with such despair. They announced that in tag matches, tags only count if you're holding the tag rope.
Yeah, they're really excited that they're bringing back the tag rope, and like they really care
This
about this
really-
for some reason. You know,
This really,
like why are they
like,
just buy the fucking piece of string? You don't need to make a song and dance. We're bringing back the tag rope, like the notorious drawing power of the tag rope.
this really made me realize that Ring of Honor is exactly all of my worst fears and suspicions. Because here I was thinking that this was a promotion that was wholly reactionary in nature. It's all, oh, we hate sports entertainment, we're going to be real wrestling. And so I see this and I think, this is just going to be all the bullshit that fucking, like, nerds on the internet just, like, suggest on, like, fucking Reddit or Woo or other places where they just have all these fucking, like, details about, like, oh, I wish the champion came out second round first. All this sort of bullshit. And then it is, because they're hyping up the tag rope. Why do you care about the tag rope? Why, Gabe?
Yeah, it's a piece of goddamn.
Explain.
It's a piece of goddamn thread.
Hurled thread the tag rope.
Ridiculous.
So, this match is happening during this reading session here of the rules, and it is fine enough. I could not notice it
Yeah.
because of the commentary.
Like the crowd are
That's
the
a
crowd
co-
are into
common
this
theme.
match. If there was no commentary here, or good commentary, I'd be enjoying this. But it's actually got so bad that I couldn't enjoy the match whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah,
can't even
abs-
remember the last time I experienced like commentary so shit on that level that like a good match is just like obliterated. Like usually I can tune it out a bit, but I couldn't here. It's just so obnoxious.
Well, for me, this was the time where, sometimes I just had to, like, there would be times where, like, I would hear something that they said, and then, like, just, like, almost out of, like, instinct, I would just, like, hit the space bar to pause the video file, because I just could not take it for a while, and, some places just had to, put on, like, fucking ABBA, and that was better.
Yeah, I did wonder
but
if you were
yeah,
going to do
so-
that, like again, like you did on the I Do Romeo and South House of Hardcore show. Like, you don't really watch much American indies other than stuff that you're covering for this, do you?
No,
No. So, whereas I'm kind of like I'm used to like a drunk ass Joey Janela talking bullshit in my ear, tuning him out and stuff, and it was bad for me. So I was just like, man, what's this like for Connor?
I'll tell you what it was like. It was a lot of pain. It was a lot of pain, and I don't think I'll ever fully get over it. Anyway, Jay Briscoe, who is the user of the Jay Driller, does the Jay Driller. Wow, he gets the win.
Jay
He gets
Driller
the
hits
W.
the Jay Briscoe.
The Jay Driller himself, Jay Briscoe, he does his eponymous move onto Tony Mamaluke, and he gets the win. And oh, look, this is another example of why commentary is bad, right? Because we've noted this sort of shit before. Okay, the whole story is that Jay Briscoe, he's finally gotten a W. He's finally gotten a deuce, And so, the whole thing is that you'd think this would make Mark Briscoe happy, but he's not happy. Because you're like, oh, you almost lost, brother. And then just like, get out of my face and whatnot, right? And that's fine enough. this is a good story. I can enjoy it. What happens though is that the J drill happens, the freak out happens. Commentator goes, J has won, and then a second after they go, oh, Mark isn't happy. What the hell? They give you no time to absorb this information. They just throw it at you.
Yeah.
And it's so bad.
Yeah, before you've even digested that Mark's making a disappointed face again, they've already like yelled it at you. It just feels like, unnatural.
It's completely unnatural. Completely unnatural. So, this is actually where Tony Mamaluk sort of like shows his colours, green, white and red, because they do the handshake, right? But then like, he goes like, oh, Bafango, or something like that, at Jay Briscoe. And that makes Jay Briscoe very mad.
Yeah, he does the Italian handshake, Hey, come on.
Yeah. He was abusive to the staff. So he walks off and the Briscoes walk off too, and then it follows him backstage where I believe this is their mama and papa. Would that be right in saying that, or is it just like two people?
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Papa Briscoe is stopping Jay and Mark from escalating this argument.
Yeah, the Briscoe parents, they're quite like they seem a lot more calm and like whatnot than like the Briscoes, because like the dad's just like, oh, well done son, you finally won the match, we can that's great, you did that. And then like Mark is just like, you almost lost, right? And it's great. And then they just go down the stairs and all that. Mark is still pissed. Jay is pissed now. He can't enjoy his victory. God damn it! And then there's no happiness in this match here, because then Tony Mamaluk, he walks backstage, and you think maybe he's going to relax now and have a soda pop, but no, because James Maritano, he comes in and he's like, what are you doing, bro? I told you this is Ring of Honor.
He says, cut the comedy crap. You didn't do any comedy. It wasn't fucking a Kekatari match, was it?
It wasn't at all. He did the Bafagul. That was it. That was him expressing rage.
He's entitled to do some Italian shit. Mamaluk, he says Maritati forgot who he is, and I stand with Tony Mamaluk, man. Right, Maritati's just being a biatch.
You've changed, James Maritano. You've been spending too much time with that damn strong style UWFI. So this just like is bad.
So I guess Takada is to blame for this.
Takada's been blamed for enough, please.
Alright, fair enough.
Then our next thing is that we get to see once more Christian and Matthews. It's the damn guys, right?
Yeah, my best mate Christian York.
Your best mate Christian York and his best mate Joey Matthews, who he is better than, like.
Yeah.
So
I wrote that they keep saying that they're in full effect, and then they do the post. So I'm just from now on, for the remainder of their run here, which I don't think lasts much longer, I'm just going to call them full effect.
That's what you assume, right? As in, like, they still call them, like York and Matthews, but they're obviously trying to get across that they have a name. So, Joey Matthews, he should stop talking. He's bad at talking. Do you agree with this?
Yeah, this was a bad promo. I did write that down. I can't remember which one was worse out of the two, but it wasn't good. I assume Matthews gets better. He's, we know Matthews, Joey Mercury. He's always been like solid wherever he goes, and it's like
he's been solid charisma wise.
Well, maybe not so much on the microphone, but he carries himself with charisma. Eminem was a good team. He joined Special K.
JJ Security was a good team.
Yeah. He joined Special K, and that's fun in Ring of Honor.
Oh, he also joined the Strange Society. That's right.
Oh yeah, shit.
Yeah.
Faction Master.
Wow.
He's been in so many teams.
he's been in so many teams, and he's just an expert at this shit now. I think that's how it is. Quiet Storm, he has gear that fits his body, and I think that's good, because before he would have baggy pants and a baggy shirt, and it all looked a bit weird, but now he's got stuff which fits to his tight body, and now he looks better. So yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, did we say the name of the match? It's Yorker Matthews against Divine Storm.
Divine Storm, yeah.
Divine.
The Storm of Vine.
This match is quite fast paced. It's decent enough. York in 2002 was also very keen to show everyone how good he is in his his reverse Boston Crab gets a nice applause. It looks alright.
I threatened to bury Steve Carino in the grounds. Would you like to know what caused this?
Absolutely, I would.
It's because there's a pin that goes on, and oh no, it did not hook the leg. He just went for a straight up lateral press. Steve Carino says, You gotta hook the leg, bro. Hey, listen, we as wrestlers, we don't get paid by the hour. If you can get a pin in the first minute, go for it. This isn't ballet, and I hate it. So, yeah, it was terrible. And Donny B, he's really just not picking up the slack, because there's this point where Divine Storm, they do this STO dropkick combo where STO happens, and it's because a dropkick gets hit on the guy who's getting STO'd, and then seems simple enough, couldn't fuck up this call. Donny B, he calls it a Uranagi. Eva, you are a Nagi.
I'm a Nagi?
You're a Nagi.
No, you're a Nagi.
What, me?
Yeah.
I'm no Nagi. Come on now. So there's a point here where fucking Brian Excel, the main character of Ring of Honor at this point, he makes an appearance again.
Yeah, he does a big flip onto York and Matthews, but now everyone's angry with him because, hey, you broke the code of honor, asshole. You got to adhere to that stuff.
It's funny because the ref is distracted, which is why Brian Excel is able to interfere. So Brian Excel does interfere, he does this big dive, right? And then
and it's just met with ungratefulness.
Quiet Storm was like, "What are you doing?" I just think that the ref can see this. The ref can see Quiet Storm being really mad at Brian Excel. Meanwhile, the opponents are down on the ground, splayed out as if they had a tope done onto them. You could probably connect the dots and be like, "Wait a minute, there is some shenaniganry here, chicanery. That's not Ring of Honor. I'm going to call a bell," but he doesn't. So
No, just it's just one of those things where referees see a person leave the ring, but just because they didn't see the actual shot that they did to interfere, it's I can't call it then. The guy might have just fallen over, He might have just slipped.
Who am I to say? But yeah, this was utterly fucking garbage. When I realised that this was just literally a match so as to get across, the principles of not only Ring of Honor, but of this roster. Quiet Storm won't take a win that's dishonourable. Oh my god, I hated it. And then the commentary just milking the shit.
Carino drops a fucking bombshell about the Code of Honor here. He tells us that breaking the Code of Honor, it doesn't mean you're out of the company. It means when you go to the back, you're out with the boys.
You're out with the boys. They won't want to talk to you. They will not share your cheese sandwich with them. Yeah, so
we have all these rules. They're very important rules, guys, but nothing actually fucking happens if you break them. It would just be
nothing.
Some people will get pissed off. That's it.
Nothing actually fucking matters. They'll have these matches which are driven by I have these rules. They're very important. but then like he won't give enough of shit to consistently do them. There are matches on this show which don't have like consistent Code of Honor stuff, and they'll even go, "Oh, I didn't follow Code of Honor there," but it doesn't matter. It affects nothing, and like it's just utterly like he really is like one of the worst people to have ever existed. Just the way that he, as a creative, is so half-assed, so half-assed in his vision, yet still so just like pretentious about it. It's really contemptible. It's really contemptible.
Yeah, and
So-
Donny B drops a hell of a line here. He says, Chris Devine just got kneed in the nads. I don't care what language you spell it in. That spells P-I-N-E. That's pain. What the fuck,
Oh my
Donny
God.
B? You can't spell a fucking four-letter word. How is this guy even like tied his shoes, let alone fucking got a job on commentary for like a major injury?
Wait, did you say P-I-N-E?
Yes. He definitely right. It might have been like he might have said P-A-I-N-E, but there was an E on the end.
But that's still wrong.
Yeah.
Like, he just fucking like, oh, Chris Devine got hit in the nads. That's like the flavour of air freshener you put in your car.
It's like a Christmas tree, right?
So, Carino, he is explaining the whole thing. He's like, oh, Brian Excel, he doesn't know what he did wrong. He's just trying to help out his buddies. And then the Quiet Storm, he's like, you're a POS. And man, that's a big thing to say to someone, I suppose that's what the Code of Honor means to these people. They will insult their pals, call them POS. Man, I'd hate to be a piece of shawarma. Wouldn't you, Eva?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this match was like, okay, this could be like a fun spot fest. Starts out, quite fast and moderately entertaining, and then it just gets into like, this is our establishing the Code of Honor match. Like we haven't already had this bullshit before.
Yeah.
So yeah, eventually it just gets like obliterated by Gabeism.
Gabeism. So Quiet Storm is good. He does like the Storm Cradle driver sign, and I'm thinking, wow, he yell big and have good hand sign, good. And then it gets reversed, but then he reverses it into Sambo takedown into reverse knee lock, and damn, he samboed that shit. The Quiet Storm wins the match, and that's good enough. It makes up for the previous 5 or so minutes that we saw, and yeah, that's Divine Storm 1. But more than that, they have stuck to the Code of Honor. They've excommunicated their pal who did not stick to the Code of Honor. Brian XL is having a bad day. He got stretched by American Dragon, and now he has found himself on the wrong side of the law.
Now he has no mates.
No mates, Brian.
He's out with the boys.
He is out with the boys. Oh man. Well, at least this is the last we see him here. He'll be able to, go and have a nice night by himself now. Maybe think about life. Hopefully. So then, what's next, Eva? What do we see next?
We see a techno vid. it plays showing Xavier's wins over Scoot Andrews, the King of 2001, of course. Although I do have some notes on that. I've made some discoveries.
Oh.
And on show 2, he defeated Maritato. Now he must battle both. Do you have anything else to say on the video package before I go into my discoveries?
No, please go into your discoveries.
Okay, so I decided to work out who the linear King of 2001 is, assuming it was defended in every match in 2001. So I'm not going up to the fucking present day. I'm not mental. But
Right.
So, Scoot Andrews' first match of 2001. If we're to, there are different theories here, so you could take this in many different directions. So his first match of 2001, if you assume that he goes into 2001 as the King of 2001,
Sure.
he instantly loses it on WWF Jacked to Essa Rios.
What?
then it just goes between WWF guys. Like the Big Show holds it twice,
Oh,
Chris Jericho holds it 3
no.
times, and then eventually it just. Yeah, I mean, Chris Jericho is the undisputed champion at the end of 2001. So it's literally just the WWF title.
Oh my! It fucking unified again. Oh my god. Okay.
The second theory is
Right.
going from King of Indies.
Yes. Yes.
American Dragon came out the winner of that tournament. The only match that he lost for the rest of the year was in a Canadian indie to a guy called Disco Fury.
Oh.
So he could be the King of 2001.
Does Disco Fury have a case match?
Yeah, I think he does. I noted that he has 2 entrance themes listed because I had to check out what Disco Fury comes out to.
Oh.
He came out to Last Dance by Donna Summer, which is a good song, but more intriguingly, apparently he came out to All Aboard the Disco Train by Ozzy Osbourne. And I could not even find confirmation of this song existing. So I don't know how the fuck he came out to it. Like, did Ozzy record like a fucking private demo for this guy? If anybody knows where you can find this song, please send it my way, because I want to hear this shit.
Commissioning Ozzy Osbourne to, write a theme for my star, Disco Fury. Wow.
Yeah.
So,
And, yeah.
Disco
and
Fury
the
then
third,
is the King of 2001.
Well, the third theory that you might put forward is a flawed one. It's that, or maybe Scoot won the King of 2001 title in his final match of 2001. But that doesn't hold up. His last
Why is
match
that?
of 2001 was a no contest with Billy Fives, and before that, he lost to Spike Dudley unjacked. Again.
Oh my.
So,
Why
so
does
the actual
why
King
does-
of 2001 is either Chris Jericho, the WWF champion at the time, Spike Dudley, or Disco Fury. Not
Why
Scoot
does-
Andrews.
Why does Scoot let himself get beat by Spike Dudley? Does he have no pride in himself?
He must not. What a piece of shit.
Oh no. Unbelievable.
Scoot, I know you're listening, you piece of shit. Why did you do this? Why did you let us believe that you're a
Why-
king
why
of
did you-
2001?
Why did you lay claim to something that wasn't true? You told us you're King of 2001, but
Yeah,
you're
you said to me, you said, "Hey Eva, I'm the king of 2001."
I 2001 was great. That don't matter anymore. It does matter, Scoot. You lied to us.
You lied. Your 2001 was bang average.
Your 2001 was okay at best, Scoot Andrews. And your 2002, well, let's get into it, I suppose.
Yeah.
James Maritado, he does
Well, Scoot. There's a Scoot
uh,
promo. He's very loud.
Okay,
he's got
we'll get to
quite
Scoot
boom-
for more. Yeah.
He says that he's come back from a broken leg last month. So I guess that's like a.
Yeah, that was the deal.
I guess
That was the deal last
that
month,
would be
yeah.
like a minor bone breaking in your leg, but which is still technically a leg break because
They said it was the tibula.
okay, I don't know exactly what that is.
Me neither.
Cool. Well, that's that. Nothing has been settled.
Scoot's promo gave me anxiety because he's just so loud and he doesn't alter tone at all. You know that SpongeBob episode where they have the presentation on the Krabby Patty and when it comes time to do the present the Krabby Patty, the narrator he does the scats, just duppity 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 da, and he just reaches the highest tone and he just keeps at it for 30 seconds. That's what this Scoot Andrews promo was like, and it fucking made me on edge.
Yeah, he's got a strange promo style.
Yes. So, you know how that pre-match video sort of told you why this match was happening, if you had not tuned into the prior tapes, this pre-match promo would tell you, oh, okay, this is why these three guys are fighting. It's a revenge match. Well, all three of these guys get in the ring, and then Steve Guerrero's like, "Here, let me tell you why these guys are fighting."
Yeah, that seems like some kind of like production miscommunication. Like they didn't tell them that they're gonna actually fucking show a video for this.
Yeah, that must be it. Aye, just some fucking bullshit. What do you think of Donny B's segs?
Donny B's segues.
Yeah, like they are worse than mine.
Hey, you're good at your segues.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, his are bad.
Yeah.
This must be something that like he thinks is like, you know, it's just the mark of a good commentator, because like every time like, you know, Steve King just like, oh, you know, Simple Luscious is really beautiful, and then like he'll be like, oh, stop it, Carino. But speaking of beautiful, look at this standing dropkick from Scoot Andrews, and I hate you, Donny B. You really, in record time, just like burst your way into the hatred part of my heart.
Yeah, I'm having a look now, and I didn't make any commentary notes. I'm assuming I must have, like, by this point I'm doing like the equivalent of sticking my fingers in my ears. Like, just when a commentary team is so bad, you know, it's just sort of instinctual at this point to just tune it out. So no commentary notes from me in this match. So I missed the segue and everything. This match is
Oh well.
very average, isn't it? Much like Scoot Andrews 2001.
Did you like the primitive Tower of Doom spot they did?
Alright, I guess he scoots underneath for a powerbomb super.
He scoots underneath. That's why they call him the Scoot.
I had a theory that he's actually called Scott, but the first promoter he worked for got his name wrong, and he hasn't had the heart to correct him ever since. That's what I think's happened here.
Man, that must be embarrassing the first time around. Just like, man, do you think that must be like kind of a ring announcer? You're just like, on the way to the ring, Scoot Andrews, and he's like, oh no.
Because I can't imagine why you'd choose to call yourself Scoot. By God, that's Scoot.
It's just such a little, such a cute little name though, isn't it? Scoot.
Yeah,
Maui
I'd call like a little kitten Scoot.
Maui Bobby. Scoot. You know what, like, this whole UWFI thing that they keep bringing up with James Maritato, it feels quite Orientalist to me, honestly. A lot of ROH does, but this whole thing where, like, you know, they go, oh, James Maritato, he is a, you know, he's a legit guy, he's a shooter, and you know why? Because he went to the damn Japanese dojo, you know? They never specify, oh, he has been trained in, I don't know, Russian martial arts, Eastern European martial arts, or indeed Japanese martial arts. Yeah, it's just like, oh, that's what I learned over there in Japan. You know the Japanese dojos, Donny B. Sure I do, Steve. Sure I do. It's just terrible. And then...
Yeah, I was also like, Maritato, they're trying to like get over that he's, you know, a straight shooter. But this is not a good match type for him to really show that off in. He hasn't really got somebody like equivalent that he can sort of tie it up in. Like we saw the triple threat main event on the first show, like lots of cool American Dragon or low key stuff. So it was a really good match in the end. But he doesn't really have anyone to sort of play with, for lack of a better term here. So he's just having a normal fucking bang average triple threat. But the finish is actually cool. Xavier coming off the top rope, Maritato catches him in a Fujiwara armbar and submits him.
Yeah. He taps Xavier, this young kid. That's the thing you bring up, is that, wow, it must be crazy that Xavier is the youngest person here, but he's got the W over both of these guys. Well, James Maritato, he makes sure to correct that. So he taps Xavier out, and it's great. Okay, cool. Scoot seems quite, you know, he's just left out in this. He's left out to dry, as he always is. And it's quite sad.
Yeah.
Poor Scoot. He must scoot along. That's what you gotta do. Scoot along back to the locker room, you bum.
Yeah, I started the coverage of this match, being angry at Scoot, furious at him, much like Arnold, and by the end of it, I just feel sorry for the guy.
Yeah.
He
I
badly wanted us to believe that he was the king of 2001, but
How much longer do we have with Scoot Andrews?
I don't think he has a whole load more appearances. He's on probably the majority of the 2002 shows, and then one 2003 show.
I see. Oh well, I guess we'll just enjoy Scoot while we have him.
Yes.
And then, after this, first thing we see, wow, Ring of Honor. That's the words of AJ Styles. NWA Wildside star AJ Styles.
Did you miss a segment out where Simply Luscious just goes up to Rob Feinstein, says she wants someone better than Prince Nana to come out with?
Wow. Rob Feinstein? Are you kidding me, Eva?
No, I am not kidding you, Connor. It was Rob
no.
Feinstein. He was there. I saw him. With my own two
I
eyes.
I seen it. What do you think it is that Rob Feinstein had in store for Simply Luscious? What's she got going on now?
I can't remember off the top of my head. Strangely enough, I can't remember this fucking bullshit undercard Ring of Honor angle from 2002 that I watched in 2015.
Hey, you could just say no.
Oh, no then. No, I don't. We'll have to wait and find out.
Yeah, we'll just have to find out. So, AJ Styles. AJ Styles, he was quite a formative person for you in your wrestling taste, obviously. It wouldn't have been Ring of Honor where you first saw him, it would have been TNA, right?
Yeah, definitely. I can't really recall him seeing him in Ring of Honor.
And so, when you first visited Ring of Honor a couple of years ago, would you have seen him on here and be like, wow, he was here too? Or did you already have an idea?
I knew he was there.
Okay, cool. So, he comes here now. And he's,
I don't want none. Sorry, I just had to get that out. I don't want none.
I won't. No. With himself and boys with the farmer's strength. Ain't
heard
nobody mad enough to feel the pain. Okay, so
you heard the story
his southern accent.
That theme was gonna go to James Storm.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Remember when James Storm turned up on NXT and got a huge pop, and then he fucked
James
it up
Storm,
for himself?
he fucking. That really is unbelievable, isn't it? I just think about it sometimes, and the fact that it was of TNA who he made up a bidding war with, right?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, it was
Amazing stuff.
Yeah, it's fucked up. Do you like James Storm? He's cool, right?
Yeah, I like America's Most Wanted. Beer Money was kind of out of my time range as a wrestling fan, so I haven't seen much of it. But they seem cool too. Yeah, good tag guy.
I don't know about Beer Money. They seem like bad.
Yeah, I don't know about the gimmick, but the matches I've seen them out of look pretty cool.
Yeah, probably the matches are cool, but the whole premise of, my name is Robert Roode, I am rich, so my thing is money. And hey, my name is James Storm, I'm alcoholic, so my thing is beer. We're Beer Money. And it's just bad.
I didn't realise that was the premise. I thought they liked beer and money, both of them. And I was like, okay.
No, it's them.
One likes beer and one likes money.
One likes beer, one likes money. Sometimes, just to try other stuff out, they will cross indulge their sort of habits, but they're loyal to.
Sometimes Robert Roode's allowed to have beer, and sometimes even James Storm's allowed to have money.
But I always thought it was ridiculous because, sometimes I would have seen clips of 2010 TNA at the time. But the main Beer Money match I saw was I watched Wrestle Kingdom 5, where they were in a 4-way match for the IWGP Tag Team titles, and the way they set up their finishing move was that Bobby Roode, he looks at James Storm and he just starts doing the shaka, except up to his mouth, so as to signal, oh, let us drink some beer, and then they go for their double team move, and I hated it a lot. So, beer money, I don't know about them, but James Storm, he seems okay, just on his own, just beer.
Yeah, if only it was just beer. Beer.
If only it was just beer.
Beer squared.
So, beer squared?
Yeah. If he just gets another guy that likes beer, can't be difficult.
Imagine if that was, John Cena and Bill Buchanan, but Bill Buchanan is replaced by beer squared. Oh. Fact of the matter is, though, that this ain't James Storm, this is some other Southern guys, AJ Styles, and his accent is very strong. Because, he says Ring of Honor. He says the South versus North, because this North is represented by Low-Key. That's who he's facing tonight. And he says, Low-Key, let's give these people what they want. It's great.
AJ's debut. You can really sense the anticipation rising as Low-Key, his opponent, comes out. There's an early kick fest. Their feet clash together.
Aye, I really like that, actually, yeah. It was, this is like when they were still doing test of strength, right? And they're on the grounds, and Low-Key does a kick, just in that position.
Yeah.
Oh, wankers.
What was that?
That was my dad saying you're all wankers.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Out! Fucking out! Okay, cool. Right. Right, okay, so this kickfest you're talking of, that was... Was this before or after Test of
I can't
Strength?
just move on. I
Oh.
just got called a wanker by a Scottish dad. What's going on?
He came in while you were talking. I was just furious, and then he asked me who's it you're talking to, what country, and I said Eva, UK, and she was like, tell me I can't. Oh, but okay. So AJ Styles versus Low-Key.
Yeah, Key's really good at landing kicks from any fucking position you can name.
Yeah, this is immediately what I noticed first. Those kicks where he just, as I've been trying to allude to, during the test of strength on the ground, Low-Key will just I believe he'll be the one who's on the ground, and he'll just lob a kick at the thighs of AJ Styles, and it just seems so good, This is one of the few points where the ray of hope is not extinguished. Low-Key is a great professional wrestler. It's great. Yeah.
I'd also like to dwell on sort of AJ. I think he has a sort of unfair reputation as being a really spotty wrestler early on. And I think he was a well-rounded wrestler. All he really had missing from his game was the promos that he didn't pick up until a decade later.
Yeah, a decade later, yeah. He definitely comes off as a well-rounded wrestler here.
There's the narrative that he was just a spot fest guy until fucking New Japan or something. That's bullshit.
What that comes off as, in my opinion, is that people will look at him doing these fucking crazy matches for TNA. He does the big Ultimate X spot.
Yeah, I watched that. I rewatched that the other night. Just a match that when I watched it when I was 13, I was tearing up my fucking grand's living room, just going mad at this.
Yeah. It was a really great bump, and I think that people would see that and also see all the other acrobatic stuff he was doing, high spots and all that, and you'd think this must be all this guy has. Otherwise, why would he be only doing that? And I think it's just a misestimation of he's playing to a different audience than he would be here, where his mat work would be a bit more appreciated. And this is the thing, because Low-Key, as ever, does a lot of great mat work into submissions, into just this struggle as ever, and AJ just completely keeps up, always just working at his stuff, and just it's very good. It's very good.
Yeah. The narrative that is just a spot fest guy is quite very flawed. It seems quite ignorant. These people have never watched a Brian Excel match. Clearly, that's who you're thinking of as a spot fest guy. AJ Styles could have a great match with Low-Key here, and I remember 2005 he has this fucking amazing match with Abyss in a cage.
Aye.
Absolutely brilliant. Just you could get it done.
I think the thing as well is that, see if a guy like Brian Excel You can tell that's all he has. You can tell it. You can tell it by the desperation in his face and his personage.
Yeah, I mean,
Meanwhile, AJ
he doesn't
Styles-
want he doesn't want to do submissions, bro. He's a high flying biatch.
But AJ Styles, meanwhile, he'll never call you a biatch. He might call you worse things, but never a biatch. So yeah, it's there's somewhere like, you know, that's just a bullshit thing. Anyone who thinks that's a bullshit person.
Yeah.
So
There's a line here that from Carino. He says, "The booker and ROH and owner of ROH are both Jewish, so I guess that they don't know that this is a matchup of biblical proportions."
you know what's funny is that there is some line in here which like made me write the note, "Carino, I will fuck your ass," but it wasn't that one. I didn't hear that.
Which line was it?
I don't remember. I don't want to remember either.
So you just have a note, that just contextless, just says, "Carino, I will fuck your ass."
Yeah, it's an expression of my rage.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
It is fair enough. Yes. They do a collar and elbow tie-up here, where low-key, once again, he starts doing kicks, and you think, wow, that's great, yo, wow, wow, wow. And then they go into a mount, and, you know, it's fucking crazy. They just, like, naturally, like, rotate over into an inside cradle, and, like, it's lovely. And then Loki gets up, and he just, like, punts AJ Styles in, like, the nose, and that's amazing.
Yeah,
So AJ,
Keys kicks getting, you know, treated like a god. Like he seemed pretty
Absolutely.
over going into the first show, but like now that they've seen the 3 matches that he's been in so far, and now this one, like, yeah, he's god to them at this point. Oh, there's a note here that says, "Loki wants that hickory smoke." Full stop. I never put a full stop at the end of my notes. I think somebody else must have got access to my laptop. What a mystery. What a mystery, folks.
I'm trying to think of diss jokes to make, but there's just too many, and he's just such a fucking presence in our lives. I can't do it.
I mean, I got more material in my notes.
So, fun happens, right? AJ, he gets up, and he is just like, you know, he looks as if he just got put in the nose. It turns out he did, right? And so then he decides he's going to shoot for a double leg. So then what then Key does, he dodges it away, and then just kicks him in the face again. And it's great. Wow.
Yeah, the crowd have been hot from the start of this match, and the match has been going hard from the beginning. But it starts really ramping up. Like that's what you want from a match with escalation. You don't want just fucking half a match of bullshit and then they start doing some interesting things. You want fucking it's great, and then it gets even greater. You know?
Yeah, totally. You want that intensity to always be present, but you want the methods for which it's expressed to, you know, escalate, you know? There needs to be an escalation of, like, you know, moves, but there shouldn't be an escalation of, like, mood, you know? That mood should always be there, you know?
Absolutely. Key catching AJ in a powerbomb and flipping over into a bridge was amazing.
It was, yeah, it was.
Yeah, just the way he delivers everything is good, and AJ is obviously a great bumper. Yeah, really quality match this. It feels so out of place, doesn't it?
Yeah, as in, like...
It's like these shows that, like, there's the low-key match and then there's kind of like everything else. It might be something else of quality, but there's nothing approaching low-key.
No, it's like a different thing, and like it's sort of like, you know, the only time like maybe this sort of stuff can work, you know, because like Loki's a fucking, you know, he's fucking Liu Kang, so you know him like going like, you know, I fought with honor, you know, I fought with honor. That's good, you know, and that's when it really excels. There's a point here where I just start, you know, listing moves that Loki does and then putting exclamation marks after them, like he does a Bisegiri, and then a Yakuza kick, and then caveman stance, and it's all amazing. I love it.
Yeah,
can't. I'm so excited to talk about low-key, lengthy in-ring promo.
Yeah, me too. Well, as long as we can hear it, you know. At one point, Styles misses the Spiral Tap. Donny B, he tells us he missed a twisting back suplex from the top rope.
What?
I think this guy's been watching wrestling for like 10 days or something.
Okay, this must have been when I had Abba on. What the fuck, Donny B?
He thought the Spiral Tap was a suplex. You fuck. I wrote "come the fuck on, man."
Carino, you're meant to be Mr.
I am
Old
no
School.
master. I am no master at like calling every move by its proper name, but that's probably the worst example I've ever heard of a miscalled move.
I can't believe Steve Carino just let that slide. He just went, "Oh, yep, that's a suplex." Fuck you.
Mad, absolutely mad.
So
This match, I mean, you know, there's bad commentary lines in it, but it's a world away from like, you know, the Briscoe versus Mamelouk, which was like all enjoyment is obliterated. This is, you know, this is still amazing stuff.
this is able to go past it. Yeah, it has a really just like well thought out thing of just like these guys who are like, you know, so evenly matched, and you know, like Loki, like, you know, will try Key Crusher, and like AJ Styles will try. It's not the Styles Clash, but it's some other fucking thing. They tries going for that, and then soon, you know, like Loki's able to, you know, catch him in a inside cradle off of it, and he wins because of that. And it's quite good because, you know, it showed you a hell of a pro wrestling match, and you know, it gave you a conclusion. It gave you a conclusion which would satisfy you in a moment, you know, like Loki, not just a warrior of brutality, you know, he's a very spiritual guy. He knows how to pin people, and you know, it makes it think, oh, imagine what AJ Styles would be like if he, you know, thought, I'm not going to let Loki pin me, you know. So it sets up a nice rematch, and that's cool. So, yeah, very, 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 very good match. Obviously, the best match on the show. Loki continues to be amazing.
Yeah.
Christopher Daniels.
Christopher Daniels?
Christopher Daniels.
Christopher Daniels?
You think that Gabe sort of has words that he, you know, gets an affection for sometimes?
Gabe gets that?
I think he does, because
Yeah.
everyone on Ring of Honor, and keep in mind, everyone who's speaking on Ring of Honor is speaking from, you know, Gabe's writing. No one is just like, you know, saying their own stuff. It's all Gabe. So Gabe, well, everyone on Ring of Honor here is saying chicanery. We do not have chicanery here in Ring of Honor. Christopher Daniels, he says, oh, the first time that I get booked in a real singles match without any chicanery is against Donovan Morgan. And I think, man, chicanery is a really weird word to say naturally, Gabe Sapolsky. Why the fuck did you do this?
Yeah. Imagine someone like watching whatever wrestling and just be like, you know, this wrestling thing's pretty cool. Just wish there was less chicanery, you know? Or the chicanery really spoils it.
Now, the thing about this Christopher Daniels promo, which follows this great match with AJ and Loki, is that I made liberal use of the arrow keys on my keyboard, which would help skip forward 10 seconds or so. And, you know, so I skipped this promo effectively, right? But, joke's on me, because I still got to see and hear Christopher Daniels say, gospel. I still somehow managed to get that, so, you know, I'm still cursed.
Well, he's the fallen angle.
Excuse me?
You heard me.
Fallen angle.
So
Oh,
the gist of this promo is he's happy to have been given a more worthy opponent, in his words, in Donovan Morgan this month. I don't know what he perceives to be unworthy about Danielson and Loki, but he's only got himself to blame for his poor record.
It's too true, Eva. I'm glad you made that point. I wish that commentary made that point. Unfortunately, Stephen Carino is very tied up in his friendship with Christopher Daniels, and how that makes him think, This time he will do handshake, but then he doesn't.
What can you do but sigh sometimes?
I swear sometimes I look out into the sea and I think Gabe is a Polski. And then, we get a palate cleanser here. Or do we? Not really. It's the Carnage crew. Hey.
Yeah, Carnage crew, they are taking on... it's Marcos and Dunn. Or perhaps better known as Dunn and Marcos. Or the Ring Crew Express. These guys are going to go on to become mainstays of early Ring of Honor. And they become actually really endearing. But they don't actually get up too much here at all. They are faceless, sort of ring crew guys, much like Elax was and the Tower Boy. They have a lot of these sort of guys. At this point, Don and Marcos, they're just like some more guys. But they will actually be quite memorable in shows to come. I'm thinking of primarily 2004 ones. Like they get really entertaining there.
The salad days are still ahead for Dunn E. Marcos.
Why did you say it like that?
And then their opponents, Look E. DeVito.
What's wrong with you? Who would ever say this kind of thing?
What's wrong with me? I've got an affliction, Eva.
Is it one where every time you try and say the word "and," you say it in Spanish?
I've got an affliction, and the only cure is this. So the Carnage the Carnage crew
Oh fuck.
yeah, okay. Eva!
Sorry. The Carnage crew.
Okay, come on now. We gotta talk about the Carnage crew.
Los Carnage crew come up
No!
with a bin lid. they come out with a bin lid. That's their weapon of choice.
Yo, shut the hell up, Pete. Everyone's
Oh.
So,
I need a cigarette.
the Ring Crew Express versus the Carnage crew. This is a bad match. I did not like it. I took 5 lines of notes on it, and one of them is just the word sucks. So, do you have notes on this match?
Right. Let's see. At present, Don and Marcos are just like forgettable dorks wearing band t-shirts. The crowd, yeah. I think something happened on the second show, because we didn't see HC Lake on the second Ring of Honor show, did we?
No, we didn't.
I think there was some kind of something happened. Like I think he was teaming with someone else in a match that got cut. So the crowd are like instantly spitting the Carnage crew out, boring chants really early into like a basic squash match. It's quite unusual to be chanting boring for just like a little shitty squash. Something like really bad must have happened on that second show, I believe.
Maybe, yeah. That's a possibility I never really considered.
Because they really instantly reject this match, the crowd.
It's good that you mentioned that it's a shitty little squash, because it really is a shitty little squash, because DeVito, he's not very good. He fucked up a big boot, and also it's stupid because see with the Boogie Nights, those guys were real jobbers, because like they just like got like totally destroyed and like barely got anything in. Meanwhile, the fucking Ring Crew Express, who are like soaking wet, are like a combined like £100. They get a fucking comeback in. And like it's terrible. It really does nothing to establish the Carnage Crew. And HC Loc and DeVito, you're both terrible. Didn't like it.
No, I mean, I certainly didn't either. I do think the Carnage Crew, they do start to get a bit more endeared for like the end of 2002. That's kind of like where they find their gimmick. They essentially have loads of plunder matches, like just loads of weapons and stuff, and like feel like a hardcore match Void, which is not really seen on these shows at this point.
Sure, absolutely, yeah.
So yeah, they get a bit more tolerable later on. Finish here is a big assisted double powerbomb. DeVito gets the pin, and then odd choice of weapons. The Carnage Crew, they come out with a bin lid, and then after the match, they smash car hubcaps over the head of Donna Marcos.
Yeah, and Donnie B and Carino, they say that, I can't, sure, my source here, but apparently those hubcaps are from Homicide's car. Oh no.
Everyone knows you can only beat a chainsaw with hubcaps. Natural born sinners better watch out.
Yeah, it's too true, they better watch out. That like, DeVito just coming in, Booga Wooga Luga Loo. Oh, that's gonna be something bad later on for Boogaloo. Homicide. So
we're getting really brazen for shit.
He's not gonna listen, don't worry.
Yeah, he's too busy scratching his chin thinking of the next fucking wicked take.
Too busy thinking about. Okay, never mind. Okay, Donovan Morgan. It cuts to him backstage. He's wearing a wee baseball cap, and he looks quite fetching. He's like, Chris Daniels, I appreciate your kind words, but his face says he does not appreciate the kind words, and then he's saying like he's gonna beat you and all that. So
this was a boring ass promo.
The fucked up thing about Ring of Honor is that in these videotapes, the entrances, they all get clipped to shit, right? A lot of liberal clipping of just like, we will capture this guy walking in from the curtain and that's it, right? However, the exception to this is Christopher Daniels. He gets his whole entrance shown. Oh my god.
Yeah. He's manipulated the crowd into cheering him with his lizard powers.
They love this, cool heel character.
The whole thing that Gabe's trying to like establish with the Code of Honor is like, is he imagining like fucking old school like fucking Puerto Rico heat on Christopher Daniels here? No, it's just like a bunch of fucking smarks. Of course they like them because they're wankers.
Yeah, they're just a bunch of wankers. Christopher Daniels, he's king wanker, so that's great for him. This gets said as an internet dream match. Would you agree with this?
No. I mean,
Well,
I wasn't watching wrestling in 2002, but I can fucking safely assume no.
it's kind of weird how they bring up, because like, okay, Donovan Morgan, Pro Wrestling Noah star Donovan Morgan, yeah, sure, great, okay, cool. But then they say that Christopher Daniels, he's a New Japan star, and I feel like, would he have ever actually worked New Japan as Christopher Daniels? I'm sure he only worked as Curryman.
Well, by this point, no.
Right, he was also just Curryman.
Yeah. The Curryman was like his Japanese gimmick for a long time.
Aye. Wait, is it New Japan they say, or is it Michinoku Pro they say? Oh, wait a second. Wait a minute. Striga, baby.
What did
Baby Striga, please.
What's Striga done now?
No, I'm just typing in cagematch.net and waiting for it to load.
You're pleading Striga for answers.
Yes, okay, so let's see here. Okay, 2002. Yes, he did work Shin Nihon Puro Resu. Let's see this shit here. Yeah, Curry Man, Curry Man, Curry Man, Curry Man. All fucking Curry Man. Why the fuck would they bring up that Curry Man works New Japan Pro Wrestling when it's Christopher Daniels there?
Just no respect. No respect.
No respects. And I ain't talking kind of Akito. So this match here gets underway. Daniels hadn't shook hands, and what a fucking asshole, right?
I guess so. I mean, like, the whole thing with it being handshakes before and after the match, like, I don't know if we've seen that adhered to once. None of these people are adhering.
Nah, and like, that's another thing. Like, see, whenever it's like afterwards, it's never just like, two people who are sporting. They're just like, oh, okay, I don't wanna, but I guess I'll give you a handshake. Surely there should be people who just like, have no hard feelings and can just shake hands like a fucking adult who's not a baby.
You'd think, huh?
You'd think, yeah. I might have said that, the Code of Honor re-explanation was the worst part of commentary, but this match might take the cake because they do a side headlock, right? And, me, I am just a brainwashed wrestling fan. I just watch WWF and think, wow, stun air. I love it. And so I, when I see a side headlock, I think, snore, I will go to sleep now. I should not pay attention. But wait a minute. Steve Carino tells me that I've been programmed wrong. That actually a side headlock is a very efficient move to use in combat. Wow. And this is a point where I sort of realized that Ring of Honor really is just like literally the worst case scenario. It's just this bullshit which is just like, oh, but WWE won't tell you, Vince won't tell you that a headlock does anything, but it does. And, it's just, there's a point here where, like, the headlock is reversed by, I think it's like Donovan Morgan does a backdrop, and, like, it lands on, like, they land on their head doing it. And meanwhile, Donny B, he's still just fucking explaining, oh, Carino, what would you want? A strike the last 1 minute? Or a vice that just keeps squeezing on you? That fucking big move just happened, It's really, like, just, like, unbelievable.
I didn't write any notes about that, but, like, reading my notes, it's quite clear that I zoned out for quite a lot of this match. I spent the vast majority of this thinking about The Fiend.
The Fiend.
And, man, the Fiend fucking delivered.
The Fiend. The Fiend
man.
who almost died but then did not die. And then he made Seth Rollins puke the blood. Oh no.
What a wonderful match that was.
I will need to actually go watch it. I have not done so yet.
Yeah, it's pretty essential. Like I would say the two most essential Fed matches from the year. One of them's not actually a whole match. It's just the third fall of Gargano versus Cole, where they go in the fucking Ambrose Asylum and like doing fucking How Am I So Violent faces and all that. But this Fiend Rollins match just topped it all off. Brilliant stuff.
I listened to someone just like give a like post-show recap of like their thoughts during it, and it was like so funny how like they literally just like got they had this idea of what it was going to be. Just like, a short squash where the Fiend kills Seth Rollins for real, snaps his neck and all that, right? And then it just wasn't that, and they just got more like, no, why?
Yeah, I was going into that like excited because I thought like, oh yeah, that would be really funny if Fiend just like squashes him and wins the title in like 5 minutes. But this was even funnier. Thank you, Vince. You truly know better than me.
I've probably said it before, but just imagine that Seth Rollins is this guy who, just like a couple months ago, was like, I don't give a shit what you think. I love WWE. It's got the best wrestling on the planet, bar none. Do not at me and all that. He prostrated himself in defense of this company, and then in response, it has dealt him this hand wherein he does Fiend matches, and he's like involved in like involved in cuckold storylines and just all this fucking shit. And I think that Vince McMahon must really be a spiteful being who just like he sees someone give his heart to them, and he just thinks, I must punish you for this.
It's really great. It's rewarding.
It is really great.
It's really rewarding for me to see. Just
yeah,
this complete geek just being bitched out week by week. You've seen the gifs where he's just like screaming like the first person killed in a slasher film, like oh
yeah.
great stuff.
So yeah, because Seth Rollins, he deserves it. He's bullshit. This match, side headlock commentary a lot. They just keep talking about side headlock, and I was reminded here by I was reminded here of a quote from a writer I really respect, T.K. Scissors, who I was recently reading a review of a Pride show he did, wherein he was talking about a Vitor Belfort match, where Vitor Belfort was just scooting around a lot on his butt in guard, rather than actually trying to fight, like a coward. And so he had a very cutting sort of observation about this, which I think applies here, which is like what he says is, I think what's important for Vitor Belfort, but of course also for all of us, is to remember that all of the things we do in each and every moment will in time be the life we have lived. So I would like Donny B to just think of that words.
Yeah, Donny B.
You motherfucker.
Yeah. I'm not sure how long Donny B sticks around.
When does Gabe come on?
He does come on in this year. So we're not going to get a huge amount of Donny B, thankfully, although I'm not sure Gabe's going to be a massive improvement.
He won't be, but anyway. So yeah, this fucking match, it just sort of, I don't know, it's okay, I guess. I mean, what do you think? As when you weren't thinking about Da Fiend and his working capabilities, what were you thinking of this match?
I did actually write some notes on commentary, that I expected bad commentary for this show, but it's not even bad in a funny way. After talking out for ages how Daniels can do it all and he's the best wrestler in the world, we then chastises him once again for not hooking the leg. It fucking sucks.
Yeah.
All of this shit
It
sucks.
really does suck. I don't remember what it is that Donovan Morgan wins the match with. I write it down as a spinny boy. Okay, yeah, it's one of those...
He hits a spinning neck breaker for a 2, and then he hits another bridging one for a 3.
Yeah, spinny boy. Yeah, that's right. Okay, I got it right. So, Donovan Morgan, he wins, right? And you know what? He's just gonna leave. He's not gonna do the code of honor at all. But then Christopher Daniels, he gets on the mic and he says, "Wait, Donovan Morgan," and then he's saying "Oh, all those other guys like Chris, American Dragon, Loki, they were chumps, but you're a real competitor. I respect you. Get back in this ring, right?" So then he holds out his hand, right, and then Donovan Morgan, he's like, "Whoa, okay then." He puts out his hand, and then Chris Ryan goes, "Oh, but wait 1 second." He takes his hand away, and you know what's a crucial thing to note here is that the crowd, they eat this shit up. They love the character of fucking Christopher Daniels not handshaking. This is just exactly fucking Kevin Owens. Just be like, "Oh, epic heel promo by Kevin Owens. Oh, he's so funny." Oh, and exactly the same here. It's like Christopher Daniels. He's the worst person I've ever seen. And I know I keep saying that. I know I keep finding new candidates for it, but the validity of my feelings does not differ. I hate this guy. He says that the reason he won't shake hands with Donovan Morgan is because he says the code of honor is a farce. And, I suppose that's true. So then instead of that, he's trying to express respect for Donovan Morgan by saying, "Hey, let's start a little stable." So I suppose this is how the prophecy starts.
Yep.
To throw the crowd a bone here, Daniel's saying that the code of honor is a farce gets loudly cheered. So I guess
yeah, because it's true.
Yeah, they're into Daniels. Everyone has flaws, but
Yeah.
But at least they see the code of honor for what it is.
And then the last thing that we hear on this segment of the show is just Steve Cormier says, Christopher Daniels is strange.
Some lizard-esque qualities to the guy.
Yeah. What's stranger than a lizard, I ask you? Look at those guys.
Nothing.
Listening about. Who do you think they are? TWA Gauntlet.
Yes. TWA Gauntlet. Striga says this is the Heartbreak Gauntlet match. I guess because it's Shawn Michaels' school. But come on, man, give Rudy Boy the credit here. Oh, these are trained by epic wrestler Shawn Michaels. These are clearly Rudy Boy's students.
Yeah, clearly Rudy Boy's students. Yeah. Did you notice the hype video, the choice of clips they used?
Yes. Some bizarrely blurry text pops up during a trance vid saying, "Who is the best in Texas Wrestling Academy?"
Who's the best in Texas Wrestling Academy? But I bring up more because in this hype video, they'll show American Dragon doing stuff, Spanky doing stuff, and then they'll show, Chris Marvell breaking his leg. For some reason, they show that again.
Yeah, it's almost like they're proud of this.
Yeah, we're proud of this. That moonsault that Paul London did, it was so great. I'm just going to show it again, even though it has horrific consequences.
So, in the Texas Wrestling Academy poll, Dragon may have got 64% of the vote wow, but voting time is over now. It's time to fight in the ring.
Your game voice is starting to get like it's Texan.
Hey, it's a perfect impression. I don't know why you keep taking issue with this.
I'm not taking issue with it. I'm not making observations. So, you are quite right. This is a match that is made due to Gabe Sapolsky's pole abilities. He went on the internet and made a poll, and suddenly now it's a match. That's how it is. There's this promo where they're all in a stairwell. Rudy Boy Gonzalez is telling his boys, hey, just go in there and give it your best shot. Show them what you've got. And then, Spanky, it's he's all, confrontational. And then, Brian, he has, gay porn acting energy here, It's just, that's... I don't know if he'd be good as a TV movie actor, but for a wrestling promo thing, he sure is adequate for it. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff where they're saying "Oh, Spanky, come on, show some respect for once in your damn life."
Did you note down what Spanky says as he walked over? He says, "You guys remind me of a bunch of ding-a-ling jabronis."
Yeah. Man.
That was brilliant.
Well, we should probably get this out of the way right now. Spanky's character arc is that he's got a screw loose. He's insane. He's twisted. He's a ticking time bomb. And what better way to establish this than him saying "ding-a-ling or jabronis"?
It was very funny. Rudy Boy's trying to deliver a pep talk, but Spanky keeps interrupting, and the other guys yell at him. John Hope, the forgotten trainee, John Hope, looks very lost in the middle of this.
He looks like he could be all our dads.
Yeah. Rudy Boy has really poor control over these guys. Has to be said.
It seems like it, yeah. The ego is just going out of control, but I'll be damned if they aren't good at the pro wrestling. This is a gauntlet match, and that means that an order must be decided here. And so Rudy Boy just says, "I'll decide the order." And they go, "Okay." And then that's that.
Yes. The first part of this gauntlet match, I guess the first match in it, comes to us heavily clipped. It's about 30 seconds maybe. And I'm going to assume that's because it was bad. Even by this standards of the show. It's Paul London versus John Hope. We don't really get to... I guess they just showed us the stuff that John Hope did adequately. And London... It's just London bumping around before winning with a shooting star press. So that was John Hope.
It is quite a condemnation, isn't it? Because Ring of Honor, they don't seem like people who, are like very time conscious, they won't be like, oh, we gotta make sure it's like a tight 2 hours, we need to cut this and not cut that and all that, but they'll just like cut stuff that they think is non-essential. So if Ring of Honor cuts you, that's like fucking, oh, woof, John Hope, no hope for you, buddy.
That was John Hope, everyone. You'll never be seen in Ring of Honor again. And
Really?
yeah, he actually only has 2 matches listed in the biggest cage in the world, and this was his first.
Oh no! What's the second one?
His second one, funnily enough, comes in a Texas Indie in 2005.
Wow.
So I'm
What the
going
fuck?
to assume he was just doing like local stuff to Texas, and most of it did not make the database. But like only 2 matches that Strigger deemed worth listing in this guy's entire career.
Well, you know what? We just got to trust Trigger on this. I'm sure he knows best about John Hope.
The mystery of John Hope.
The mystery of John
There
Hope.
was no hope for him. Ha ha ha.
I really made that joke. Come on now.
Sorry. Did you? Sorry.
More like John Despair. Ha! There we go. Yeah. John Despair. So then Michael Shane comes out, and you remember Michael Shane, don't you? From that amazing TW offer match.
Oh yes, I remember Michael Shane.
Did you like him?
Huh? You cut out for a sec.
Did you like him?
Did I like Michael Shane?
Do you?
You keep cutting out.
Do you like Michael Shane?
Okay, I heard you that time. I've got memories of him from watching in because he was a regular in like 2004 TNA and stuff. Yeah, he's okay compared to the other guys that aren't John Hope in this match. I certainly don't like him as much as those guys, but he always seemed like a decent wrestler. He has a really strong match with Paul London coming up later in the year in Ring of Honor.
Yeah, and he also has a match for London right now.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
he seems
and
like
it's not much because it's like the second match in like it's a 4 match gauntlet series, so it's just a finger. Oh my god, this shooting star press has been avoided, and Michael Shane does his fucking elbow, so he beats Paul London, and Paul London's now out of like the fucking like pole thing. As in like that's a what's Michael Shane even on the pole?
I don't think so. But they had Lance Cade on that pole. Lance Cade never works for Ring of Honor.
That is quite true, yeah. Man, they tried to settle who was the best in TWA. It's taken them like fucking months, but nothing's been settled here. Cause
Yet again,
Gabe. I'm fucking tired of it. Tired of you.
settle something.
Spanky comes out, and what did you think of like the whole character arc of Spanky here that commentary is trying to put across?
I can't quite remember it.
It's just like how I said, they're saying like, one day he will explode. This Spanky guy, he seems so carefree now, but one day he will show his true potential
Yes.
and go crazy.
That's not the impression that I really get from Spanky's character. The impression I get is that he's like a quirky asshole,
Yeah, it's not that like he's a psychopath. He's not a joker.
Yeah. But for some reason they're putting him into this role. Maybe I'll be proved wrong, but I can't remember him like snapping or anything. Like, if that's what they're attempting to like build towards or something. Also, Simply Luscious has joined commentary, but I tried my best to ignore this because she appears to be there purely so Steve Corino could sexually harass her.
Yeah, it's so that Steve Carino can say that his dick is hard and he would like to, fuck Simple Luscious in the vagina and whatnot. And, then soon like Simple Luscious, she just says, I'm going to go off commentary now. And then Steve Carino, ever the comedian, he's like, Luscious, wait, I have an 11-inch. And then he gets interrupted by Donnie B. And hey, Eva, he was about to say that was the length of his penis. Oh my god.
Oh my god, he nearly just went out and said it. What an almost legendary moment that was.
The madman. The almost madman.
Well, if he'd have finished saying that sentence, I would have just pumped my fist in the air and yes, he said penis.
Donny B, why did you interrupt this? We almost had an epic win moment in Ring of Honor, and your PC ass had to interrupt. So, Spanky and Michael Shane, I think it's a weird match because, like, it's a point where, like, okay, so Michael Shane gets cut open, like in his forehead,
or as Donny,
and,
or as Donny B puts it, he's losing that life-giving plasma.
What?
That's what he said. That's what the motherfucker said. Blood and plasma are two different things, Donny B. Why don't you know? Why don't you know things?
Why don't you fucking pick up a book one time, Donny B? So yeah, okay. So Michael Shane rapidly losing this plasma that gives him life, and so now the whole thing is that he is loopy. You know, he will try and go up for the top rope, and you know it just won't work out for him. He will just fall down, and then they'll be like, "Oh, I think it's that headwind, Kurt Steve.
Oh yeah,
he's so hurt."
Yeah, because he's cut open, but it's not. He's not fucking pushing on the meter scale, is he? It's a little cut that sort of like, as he sort of wrestles, the sweat just wipes it away. He's not losing that much blood. So him just fainting off the top rope from like blood loss exhaustion is just completely unbelievable.
It's psychology. Look at him pointing his head. Psychology. Okay, wait, that's the next episode. So then, after this fatal flaw in Michael Shane's game plan, he gets sliced breaded, and oh no! So then here comes American Dragon, and he's got his red tights on. What did you think of this here? Like the latest in the series between these two. What do you think of it?
Well, it's a strange dynamic for Spanky, quite clearly like the heel here, to go into this at a disadvantage.
Yes.
It's as if they didn't think this through.
Almost as if, yeah. Did you catch what Donny B said about these two young fellows?
I don't think I did.
Well, effectively he is trying to put over that these guys, they are so young, they are so inexperienced, yet they act as if they've been here for like, I don't know, 4 years, you know? They're wise beyond their years and all that. And the way he sort of proceeds that is just by saying like, he just sort of like has inside, and this is a shoot, before he says all that. So, just in case you thought my compliments were work.
Worked compliments. Yeah, but I did note about the commentary that they really decide to like just really suck Shawn Michaels' cock for like this part of the match. Just, like,
it's too fucking true. Like, did you catch the point where they're just like, "Oh, you can really see Shawn Michaels and these rookies here."
Yeah, I mean, it's true that it's bad. It's bad to hear.
It is.
It's not even that we have, the held opinions that Shawn Michaels is a generally bad and overrated wrestler. He didn't train these guys.
Yeah, it's plainly obvious. No, it's plainly obvious.
All he did was buy a sort of training facility in his name.
Yeah, he got money off of it.
Maybe he would occasionally go in, but like to do like a seminar or something. But it's Rudy Boy. It's all Rudy Boy. That's why these guys are good.
It really just does I don't know what the word would be. Perhaps just like seconds me that like we're getting a look here at like the pillars of contemporary American wrestling. These guys who influenced a generation by this point. People who just watched this stuff and like they're like, oh, I'm gonna be like that. So we get this look at this precious thing, this like primordial ooze of the next generation. It's just fucking ruined because the commentary just keeps fucking talking about shit. It's really bad. It's like there's a point where so this whole Spanky storyline where he's crazy, it takes a turn because I forgot his name there. Donny B. Tony B, he notes that he himself has seen Spanky in -30 Alaskan weather go out in his motherfucking bloomers or something, right? And he just went out and bought a fucking candy bar in cold weather. He came back and he was laughing about it, and the absolute madman Spanky just doing that shit. What the fuck? I don't know of this guy anymore.
Well, still a fan of, all the guys, especially John Hope, but, this was not the showcase they, I guess, imagined it would be, is it? It was poorly thought out. Commentary takes gigantic turds all over it at every opportunity.
Yeah.
So, some of it's pretty good, because, there's 3 great wrestlers in this, and a pretty good one, and some other guy.
Some other guy.
So some of it's pretty good, but it's overall just not a good overall package, is it? And it's a big sort of step down from what fucking American Dragon's been in previously.
Yeah, imagine if we deigned to cover this in our fucking compilation episode, and we just said on, oh, I guess American Dragon does suck.
Yeah, despite all the evidence to the contrary, you see this match, we're like, fucking American Dragon, fuck this guy.
It's like in Phoenix, right? Where you can be right on the precipice of solving this case and implicating another guy as a murderer, but your life bar ran out, so the judge is like, ah, fuck you. This case is thrown out. Guilty.
It felt like a demotion for Brian to actually be tossed in with these guys. I can understand at this point, Spanky hasn't done too much of note yet. Paul London, all he did was accidentally break a guy's leg. Michael Shane hasn't done much. John Hope we know nothing about. That could have been the match. American Dragon just feels so above this. But
Yeah. I was thinking about this because low-key, his match is not really near the top of the card. It's more the mid card, right? And I sort of thought, okay, this makes sense because he lost that match, and so obviously his efforts will be commended, and he will get opportunities, but it won't be at the top of the card. Thus, this means that American Dragon, he's going to be in the fucking main events like that. But no, he's in this bullshit where he loses. It's all based on a poll, a Gabe Sapolsky.
Yeah, but I guess this is technically the semi-main, but you could have put him somewhere. Well, like Loki was in the middle of the card, but he was facing a great opponent in a great match. Give Danielson something like that, so we actually have 2 things to really actually positively remember.
Aye, instead of just this bullshit. But the real story, after Bryan Danielson loses to damn avalanche sliced bread, is that suddenly a lot of people are coming out here. Initially it's just Spanky's being like, come on Dragon, what you gotta say? But then Christopher Daniels comes out, Scoot Andrews comes out, Scoot Andrews yells at Christopher Daniels.
Yes, Scoot.
Wow.
My king of 2001.
Christopher Daniels just BTFO'd. Oh my god. And then he says something
he got scooted out of the way.
And then Christopher Daniels, he says something like, oh, don't get your afro in a twist. And it's like, come on, man. Fuck you.
Come on, man.
Yeah, and then...
Yeah, that's racial.
It is. I mean, he's on a good streak here, Christopher Daniels. Last time he said he said someone was like someone at a Special Olympics. Now he's racist. He's got like a good amount of the ists going here, you know.
Also, Xavier comes out, Joe Briscoe comes out. They all say some stuff. You know, we can't really hear most of it. But the gist is, there's going to be a tournament. The commentaries say it's actually going to be. There's apparently 4 tournaments to put together a 4-way Ironman match for the title. No, guys, it's one tournament with a 4-way final. Yeah,
and you know that sort of the idea of that, you know, an Ironman final for the inaugural Ring of Honor title, it just made me hate life. And indeed, Gabe Sapolsky. So the Ring of Honor title tournament.
What do you think of the news that we've got Road to the title coming up, and then we've got Crowning a Champion, where we'll see a 4-way Ironman match? What's your initial sort of impressions of that?
A tournament to crown an inaugural champion is always a good thing, right? It's just that when you get down to specifics of it's fucking Ring of Honor of this roster, then I don't really trust it. After all this time, the payoff of like,
what do you think?
Ring of
What
Honor.
do you think specifically of the idea of the 4-way Ironman?
Okay, that no, because again, it comes back to this whole thing of like you're meant to be, like the place of honor, where like you value athleticism above all else. So why would you have a match, or indeed any match type, wherein there is more than 2 people, and thus the athletic capabilities of your combatants are compromised? You know, as in like, it just is quite stupid that like that's how you would establish your title. That's like meant to be a legit sort of thing. Like, you know, if you just want to be pro wrestling, you want to be like, oh, let's have a fatal 4-way. You know, that's great. Okay, I'm here for it. But Gabe, you're not doing that. You're doing something else. So yeah, I don't like it. And then this promo goes on really long, and you cannot hear shit.
Yeah, Prince
Nana's there.
Prince Nana's there. He says stuff for ages.
He says stuff for ages, and then here comes like, okay, so there's a lot of like shots of like you know, it'll just like cut to Christopher Daniels, and he just looks like perturbed and confused, and that seems to be the case with most of you guys. But then here comes Loki in jeans.
Yes, he's here to save this fucking segment.
He's here to save his segment.
He gives Nana a fucking great looking punch.
A great looking punch, and then the first thing he says is, "Every single thing you've done in the Ring of Honor has led you to this point."
Man, he's getting deep with it. He's getting existential.
More reason one. So the whole thing that happens promo is that he runs down the people in the ring, right? So he goes to Jay Briscoe and says, "Jay Briscoe, you have proven yourself as a warrior," or something like that, right? And he just does that for everyone, where he specifies their accomplishments, what brought them to the dance and all that, right? And people, you know, yeah, Loki's being complimentary. And then he gets to Spanky, and then for the first time we see Loki smile, because he goes, "Huh." And he doesn't like say anything about Spanky.
Yeah, he just cracks up at the sight of Spanky.
It's great. And then he gets to Christopher Daniels, and like he like legit like starts like this fucking speech, like this right out of like, you know, this is what a fucking Power Ranger would say to a villain, you know. It's like, "Christopher Daniels, fallen angel, you will not win the Ring of Honor championship." And you know what? It's like I said. This is literally the only time anything of Code of Honor is good. It's because I can believe that Loki is a man of honor.
Yeah, all of this stuff seems less egregious when Key is there. It just kind of makes it work somehow.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just because, like, you know, it doesn't feel as if he's just like, you know, fresh off from like, you know, watching WWE all the time. He legitimately feels like he's from a different sort of influence, and this he's an actual alternative, you know.
Yeah.
So it comes off a lot less like, you know, like, oh, we just don't want to be WWE. He's his own fucking thing. He's like, "Look, I'm youngest but fastest warrior in the tournament." It's great.
Yeah. The next match is what we assume to be the main event at this point. They show clips of the Whipwreck crew's antics with each other to some like muddy rock track, including a extended clip of Whipwreck kicking out Brian XL from the locker room.
Yeah. And he says, Red, I'll find your partner. And then the text says, oh, it turns out to be Eddie. So Eddie Guerrero, he is back in the fold here in Ring of Honor. One night only. That's why it's a night to appreciate Eddie Guerrero. You'd think that Gabe Sapolsky, him being such a loving guy, he'd know how to, consistently tell the people he loves that he loves them. But, he's just one of those guys. He only waits until it's time to say goodbye. So that's why it's night to appreciate Eddie Guerrero. He's leaving because he's already the WWE Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, more like Feddy. Yeah, I actually noticed he's wearing the WWF Intercontinental title, and yeah, this is quite interesting that Donny B calls it the WWE Intercontinental title. So this show took place April 7th, 2002, and the first Raw under the WWE name took place on the 6th of May. So obviously this is done in post-production, and we're at the crossover,
post-production,
from WWF to WWE.
Yeah. Like the last pay-per-view would have been Backlash, which is WWF. Donny B, he's very respectful of the Get the F Out campaign because he said it's WWE. So I think, wow, okay. Cool.
Yeah, I think on later shows they're like, oh, I'm not calling it the WWE. I'm just gonna call it the WWF. Like, yeah, all right.
Really? On Ring of Honor?
They already like acknowledged the name change, so they kind of like decided to take it back. It's really weird. Like, I'm certain that happens. So.
Oh, I can believe it. Yeah, man, this is good grief.
It's also really weird, right? They're always saying that they're not that sports entertainment crap and just disparaging the WWE. Here's the WWE effectively doing a favour for them. You'd think they'd be a bit more evolved with it,
Yeah, and it makes even less sense if like they do go back on this, because imagine like if you're like, we're not like that WWF sports entertainment crap, and then you're sort of like, WWE, hey, that's not my WWF, that's not a WWF I know and love. So yeah, it's crazy. So Eddie Guerrero, Intercontinental Champion, he's with Amazing Red, and they're against the Maximos. So SAT is Maximos plus Red. Red has fallen out with the Maximos, and he's also not on good terms with Brian XL, so he's got his new pal Eddie Guerrero, and I think it's a good team.
Yeah, this was better than I remembered this match.
What did you remember it as?
I didn't remember so much of it. I guess I would have been expecting a little more, and this time I didn't expect so much. Expectations can really, change how you view a match. If it surpasses them, or if it doesn't reach them, then it changes what you would otherwise think sometimes.
Definitely, yeah. I think that happens with a lot of like Eddie stuff. It's sort of like how, with the Idol and Mizou stuff, that Triple Threat was like, really hyped up to the dream match. Probably just because like they saw it on the card and thought, wow. And then like, you just go in thinking like, you don't want to, but like you're just going with like your fucking arms crossed, like I don't know if it's a dream match as such, and
yeah.
It's bad. But I don't think that functioned here. Maybe that's just because you would have known more about this match than me, so maybe I just sort of thought of it as a wee fun thing, and it was.
Yeah, well, I think 2015, just getting back into wrestling, strong memories of Eddie Guerrero as like a favourite, and like. It did genuinely hit me hard to read on the fucking TNA forums that he died. Generally, every Eddie match that I remembered at that point was like pretty spectacular in one way or another. So,
Eddie Guerrero was the one who taught me what passed away meant, because I logged on to WWE.com in November 2005, and I saw on the first article was that said that Eddie Guerrero had passed away. So I turned to my dad and asked, Dad, what does it mean for someone to pass away? And he says, that means they have died. And I thought, oh.
Aww. Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, so always nice to learn new things. So there's some like nice opening stuff here, but the main thing is that on commentary they are breaking news is coming in because Donny B says that in the tournament now, Ring of Honor title tournament, there's also people from Britain, Jodie Fleisch.
Yeah. Doug Williams and Johnny Storm join Jerry Lynn, AJ Styles, and the rest of the people that we saw like shouting at each other earlier. They'll all be in that tournament.
Did you cut out, or did you forget to mention Jerry freaking Lynn?
I must have cut out. I did mention him.
Wow. Okay then. Jerry Lynn,
the Phantom CZW champion. Like, seriously,
what?
We'll touch on that when we cover our CZW episode later. But I'm so confused.
It never happened, Eric. That's my Hitman ASMR voice. Okay, so then we hear, this is where we hear about the Wonder Iron Man finals, and I heard this and I like what I thought was, Gabe, I will skin you. So I wasn't really happy about it. I suppose it'll be fine. It won't really be fine. I'm just trying to reassure myself.
Well, I remember enjoying it, but that was 2015. We'll see.
We'll see. Okay, so this match is going on, and they do give it sort of like the big match feel because the roster's out there, they're watching on, and that's cool, I suppose. Did you have like much thoughts on this match, just like any specifics?
It's a good match. Red and Eddie, they both look cool. SAT are an interesting team. They got a lot of indie hype in this sort of period before being sort of left behind. Like by 2003, you have like Meltzer calls them like overrated. There's questions over their matches and their stamina and stuff. Like, yes, so like an interesting phenomenon, if you like, the SAT.
Yeah, like they've been good in stuff that I've watched them in before this, and they're a bit like it seems like, I don't know, maybe the in between stuff, like they could be a bit like iffy at, but they can do they can do this stuff well.
Yeah,
overall,
they pull out exciting high spots on the regular.
Overall, this is a fun match, which is akin to a house show performance where you get to see Eddie Guerrero, So like you get to see Eddie, you get to see him be cool, do his stuff, and like he puts over like the local guy, Amazing Red, by just like being with him. They do this really cool thing where Eddie tries going for a frog splash, but then Maximo is in the ring and starts like insisting upon him and whatnot, and then they try and go for the Spanish Fly, both of them, but then Red he helps Eddie out of it, and then soon Eddie just like launches him up into a Frankensteiner, and it's great. And then after this, Eddie like does a gory special / splash mountain, and it's great. JWP forever, Kansai. Oh, it's great. He wins this match, and as per the stipulations, that means he is now appreciated.
Finally.
God forbid if he lost.
Then everyone would just been like, "You can't."
Not even beat up for anything.
Or the locker room who came out, it would just be like, "Boo!" You suck, Eddie Guerrero.
Loki with tears in his eyes, he's going like, "I'm sorry, I love you. You suck."
So yeah, the competitors are about to show us what it's all about. Adhering to the code of honor. That's why we watch wrestling. No questions asked. But out comes Brian XL, and he looks displeased.
The main fucking Brian, character of Ring of Honor.
yeah. At least in this show, he really is the sort of the main story arc has been built around Brian XL and sort of like disconnection from the fucking Whipwreck crew. It's really weird.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, he looks displeased. Eddie asks Brian if he wants a piece of him, and they start fighting. The bell doesn't even ring.
Eddie quickly gets
No.
the advantage. Before giving the crowd the frog splash that they wanted to see in the other match, and then the ref
Yeah.
counts 3 because that was a match apparently.
Yeah, put it down on your spreadsheet, folks. I
Yep.
I like
Spreadsheet
when
ready.
yeah, Brian Excel he's like talking to Eddie. It cuts to the roster and they look so like affronted. You just see Loki and he's like really mad. How could you do this, Brian Excel? So Brian Excel gets murked by Eddie Guerrero and
And throttled, I'd say.
and then the crowds they chant "We will miss you," and then Eddie does this like sincere speech about like Philadelphia is where he started in America and like he's found Christ and like what all this sort of stuff, and then
Yeah,
it's like,
I can't make out like probably most of it, but what I hear is like good, heartfelt stuff. The whole locker room like respectfully observing. It's nice. It's nice stuff.
yeah, and then like he shakes hands with the Maximos, and then he shakes hands with Red, and he gives Red the Intercontinental title, and Red, he's just like, oh, no, come on. Oh, it's great, it's a great moment. It's great.
Former interim WWF Intercontinental Champion, Amazing Red.
Oh, if only. So then, after this, we get to this fucking amazing last segment. Okay, so we cut to the shot of this American Dragon and Loki. They're just like, camera's pointing right in front of them. They don't ask if there's any camera in there. It's like fucking Degrassi. And American Dragon, he's like, man, wasn't that great there? Showing your respect for Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah,
And then
totally
Loki goes,
normal conversation. This. Well,
Wasn't it great?
Wasn't it great how we just all showed respect for Eddie Guerrero? Aren't we so
Wasn't it
respectful
great?
right now?
Wasn't it great? Show respect for Eddie Guerrero. Then Loki goes, we're good for Patrick.
But then,
Then
they find Spanky. He's still in the locker room with his goddamn headphones on. He's eating pizza
got-
and singing to the pizza.
And then Loki, initially, he's like irritated at this, right? But he tries to give Spanky a benefit of the doubt. He's like, hey, listen to me. And then like Spanky's just like, alright, mate. Just like keeps eating his pizza. And then like
Yeah,
Loki just like snatches the headphones off, just like destroys them.
Yeah,
And then like,
smashes them against the wall.
yeah, and they're like, you too good to show appreciation for Eddie Guerrero. You come to me on this to name appreciation for Eddie Guerrero. you show no appreciation. And so Spanky is like, nuts to you guys. Look, no one came for Eddie Guerrero, they came for Spanky. And, it's a point worth arguing. But then, like,
It's funny that
Daniels...
when Loki smashes Spanky's headphones against the wall, Spanky doesn't actually like seem that bothered.
Yeah, he wasn't actually listening to anything. Yeah, that's part of his crazy persona. He's just pretending to listen to music.
Wow,
So then,
what a dangerous psychopath.
Daniels and Morgan come in, and they're like, well, and whatnot, right? And then they start brawling with, Dragon and Loki. So, and Spanky, meanwhile, he's just like, in this, like, as a bystander. And then soon, like, he, like, is face to face with the prophecy. And, they're like, oh, you gotta do something better. And he's like, nuts to you guys. And he leaves. And then, this is a really funny thing because, like, Donovan Morgan, he's quite a short guy, so Christopher Daniels has to really be the actor of the duo. So this brawl happens, and then Daniels is like, you see what I mean, Morgan? Jeez Louise, if I still had hair, this place would make it go grey. And then, the last line that you ever hear on this video file is Christopher Daniels, he goes, Ring of Honor, Jesus Christ! And then he leaves.
I mean,
That's...
hey,
even a stopped Christopher Daniels is right twice a day. He said that the Code of Honor was a farce, correct. And then he goes, Ring of Honor, Jesus Christ, and that's very apt.
Yeah. And also Ring of Honor would make his hair go grey. And that's also true. I think that's doing it for me. So that's a show. Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
What, why?
Bet you're glad to do this podcast, huh?
Eva, please explain to me. Ring of Honor. Why?
Well, alright. Gabe's this fucking, he's just like this, he's ahead of his time, man. He's a genius. This is how wrestling's going to be in the future, you know. The future, like 2007, that's the future. That's the direction it's all going to go.
Ring of Honor. Nothing has been settled. My the burning questions in my heart haven't been settled. This was just one of the, you know, I'm someone who feels like he's quite beset to recency bias, but this was like utterly a terrible show, and you know, the highlights were good, but I don't know if they even make it worth it. Don't watch this show.
Yeah, just watch AJ Styles versus Loki, and if you want the Eddie tag, that's really all.
Yeah.
Just don't do it to yourself. I'm thinking we should start up a Patreon because we deserve money. I mean, we won't, but you know.
Well, I mean,
fucking
like,
pay me.
You're saying this out of a place of like we should be paid to do Ring of Honor episodes, right? But I think that we should do it. We should charge for more Scoot Andrews talk.
I mean, that's where it's all at.
The Scoot discussion, is just not enough on these episodes.
The skimp.
Skimp. The Scoot Emery podcast.
Just to touch on this before we round off this episode. I think your dad interrupted when we were talking about like how would you rank the AJ Styles match against the other Loki stuff. I think he called me a wanker.
No, he generally called everyone I talked to wankers. It's different.
Oh, okay,
okay. So, wait. How many matches do you think we've covered on this show?
Of Loki's?
No, it was just like every one of them. Estimate, like...
100, maybe?
Okay, so I would rate it about like... probably top 10, I think.
Yeah, I'll definitely put it in top 10. If I had a top list, it would mostly be Loki stuff at this point, and then like the good CCW stuff. IWA Mid-South hasn't really got a candidate yet for like the top matches, but we'll get there, I'm sure.
Yeah, IWA Mid-South, like it's got like good death matches. Yeah.
IWA Mid-South is what we'll be covering soon. 2 episodes from now, we'll be covering Locked and then Loaded. Bucky tells us that it's in a start of 2002 transitional period, and that kind of makes a lot of sense to me.
Okay then. I trust that theory. So yeah, that's in my top 10, and like so do you want to hear like my spreadsheet opinions on this show?
Of course.
Okay, right, here we go. Ooh. Ooh. Ring of Honor.
That might be the most visceral one yet. I could really like feel every note of that. Especially the woo, because I knew exactly which match that was. The fucking good one.
the fucking good one. So there you go. This Gabe Sapolsky produced Volume 3 for you today. Wow.
Yeah. See you next time, I guess. For
Oh, my
the next
fucking-
Ring of Honor show, that's in like June, so there's a couple months gap. That will be Road to the Title, where they have the tournament without the final. But we'll see the first part
Yeah,
of
it'll
the
fit.
tournament.
Yeah, that's
and
half the
I
battle.
remember this. I remember that one being a much better show on average than any of the three that we've covered by ROH so far. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe I've overlooked so much bullshit. I don't know.
Well, I'm locked into covering it, so I'll just have to take your word for it. Gabe Sapolsky. I hate him. Eva, do you hate Gabe Sapolsky? Yes. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
This guy's crazy, submit me. What's going? This guy's bugging out, bro.